Hi, Abraham. So good to see you. Thank you. And thank Esther for us too.
Yeah.
My question is around desire. Where does it come from? Why is it so strong? I'm intrigued by it. My desire is...
There are two things that we want to say about desire. Desire is born out of contrast, variety, and it grows because of law of attraction. And you usually don't recognize it, you don't acknowledge it, you don't really even give it the label of a desire until it has gathered quite a bit of momentum. So what a desire really is you having lived life and send off rockets of desires, rockets of desires, rockets of desires that have gathered in this vibrational reality and have been tended by Source. And as that vibrational conglomeration grows in mass and velocity, you begin to notice your relationship with it. And powerful statement we're about to make here. Only when you are in the receptive mode do you tune in to that desire. So a desire is a creation that you have created, that you have now found a way to be vibrationally up to speed with, at least for this moment. Ooh, you like that? You threw the pieces in like the ingredients in a cake, and Source made the cake and is now eating the cake. The cake is dripping down the face of Source. Source is savoring and enjoying this cake and expressing to you the perfection of the desire that you have created and emanating a signal about it. And every now and again, when you're not doing that thing you do that blocks it, you're in the receptive mode and you say, whew, you feel the desire just for a moment. But most of you can't sustain it very long because you've got beliefs that are preventing you from it. But there it is. That's the best explanation of what a desire is and where it comes from that we have ever offered. Now what? Oh, you created desire. You are a creator. You have created a vibrational something. How are you going to turn it to a manifested something? By focusing on it, by not focusing on the opposite of it, by practicing the thought of it until the thought of it is the constant normal thought that you have about that. And then in the same way that that desire first thrilled you, it's going to just keep thrilling you as it fleshes out more and more and more, as more about it comes into reality. And that's why you're all here. You said, ooh, I like mastering vibration, and I like focusing, and I like being in an environment where there's so much to choose from. And I like giving birth to the desires, and I like knowing the natural course of the desire. And I like knowing that I'll get in the receptive mode of it. And I like my reception of my own desire. A lot went on before you even got that reception of that desire. You've been working on it for a while. And when you received it, oh, what a good sign that is. And that positive emotion that you felt when you thought about it, oh, what a good sign that is. And now what you going to do? Now what you going to do? Complain that it hasn't manifested yet? Or let it be what it was born to be, your reason for feeling good, you see. An unconditional reason for it feeling good, right up to the full blown manifestation, actualization, realization.
So the desire is there to motivate me to feel good?
No, the desire is there because it is the natural process of focusing. Your decision to feel good may motivate you, but we would rather use the word inspire you. Motivation usually is you being prodded along in awareness of the bad things that will happen if you don't do that. Inspiration is the calling of Source and your reception of that. Say that again. So a desire exists. Why?
So my desire appears.
My desire was revealed. So when it appears, what happened? When I realized my desire, because it's there and it's real. But when you say when it appears, what you mean is when I was not doing that thing I do that was blocking me from seeing it. And so for just a moment, I caught a glimpse of it. I was in the receptive mode. And then what? And then I wasn't in the receptive mode. And then I was, and then I wasn't, and then I was, and then I wasn't, and then I was. But I started noticing what it felt like when I was and what it felt like when I wasn't. And so I just followed the good feeling all the way to fruition. So your desires exist not for the manifestation only. They exist for the joyous journey along the way, don't they?
Yeah.
It's all about focus, isn't it? Don't you love knowing that you are a focusing mechanism? Don't you love the feeling of molding that clay with the power of your mind and thoughts? We're going to say it again. Your thoughts matter a lot. Your thoughts matter a lot. And the reason that your thoughts matter so much is because your thoughts are the reason for the way you feel. And the way you feel is life. The way you feel is your resonance with who you really are or not. So see how it all fits together? When you allow yourself to want to feel good, and then you contour your thoughts to feel better and better and better and better, and then you're feeling good, and then you're seeing what comes from that. That's what makes you shudder with delight. That's what the little ones know when they get here, before you convince them otherwise. Their ideas are flowing easily, and you go, bad idea, another bad idea, bad idea, bad idea.
I seem to have a wobble in my relationship. Can you help me to improve that?
So start somewhere. Start somewhere. How big's the wobble?
It's probably inconsistent. Sometimes
Is it an existing relationship or one that you're still trying to bring in? Well, the thing about relationship, if you could accept this, and you're not going to, but we're going to give it to you anyway, that it's your relationship with your inner being that matters and only matters. And then all other wonderful relationships will come to fruition. But if you don't tend to that relationship first, then it's the way others are behaving to you that you're sort of focused upon, over which you have no control. So things aren't unfolding the way you want them to, and you notice that, and then you want it to be different, so you launch the rocket, but then you keep noticing how it is, so you prevent yourself from being in the receptive mode. So
that's where I'm stuck, because I'm noticing how it is.
But you know what you said to us first when you said you wanted to talk about desires? Mm-hmm. So do you accept? We know you do. We're just going to put these words in your mouth. Isn't it nice to accept the importance of a desire? And weren't you there when you first sat down?
Yeah.
So now we smoothed that out a little bit, but you were already acknowledging that you have desires and you want to know where they come from. So a desire about a relationship, where did it come from? Where did a desire about a relationship come from?
It just seemed to appear, and
there's that word, just seemed to appear again. So what you're saying is, I was throwing stuff in the vortex and throwing it in and throwing it up, and finally I got in the receptive mode, and there was the desire. So then what? Then what? We're just going to ask you straight out. What beliefs about relationships do you feel you hold up against your desire? There's this desire. What are your practice thoughts around that or about that? What thoughts are you thinking when you feel the wobble or the discouragement? Taking too long?
Taking too long. I'm doing something wrong, even though I'm trying to practice and focus.
All right, well, that's just dumb, isn't it? We're having fun with you, but we want to get your attention. Do you think that's what your inner being is saying? Is your inner being saying this is taking too long? Or is your inner being saying you're figuring out what you want? A woman said to us one day, Abraham, will you please tell me something that I can tell my son so that he can get a mate right away? And we said, no. And she said, why not? And we said, because if he gets a mate right now, she'll be just like he. She'll be unemployed and ornery and passive aggressive and then they'll just bang around together for a little while and then they'll break up. And she said, well, that's what's been happening. And so don't you want to deliberately launch your desires and line up with them before they begin to manifest? Here's a really good statement, something that'll get your attention. The relationship that you want is not coming to you right now, this red hot minute, because you're not a vibrational match to the relationship you want. So it's not the relationship that needs to get there. It's you that needs to get there. And the way you get there is by getting there unconditionally rather than conditionally. Because especially in a relationship, think about how it goes. Think about how you say, not there, not there, not there, not there, not you, not you, not you, not you. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not here, not here, not here, not here, not good, not good, not good, not good. And here it is over here, beautiful, delicious, gathering momentum. Not here, not here, not here, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. But what if you could stop noticing what is or isn't about it and start focusing on the creation of the desire that you've been putting there? What if you could feel the uncondition of loving someone, the uncondition of feeling love, the uncondition of being happy, the uncondition of feeling lighthearted? What if you could be lighthearted and acknowledge that you're being lighthearted? What if you could stop beating the drum of something that isn't and give this a chance to appear in the form of a thought and an impulse and a rendezvous and a face-to-face realization? How do thoughts turn to things anyway? That's a big question that you got to ask yourself. And you all have been so conditional in your approach to things that you're spending most of your time just moving conditions from place to place and comparing your conditions with the conditions that others have, and not really doing anything about maintaining a vibration that puts you in a place where you can realize. You used the word twice already here today. It just appeared. It just appeared. Well, that's what turning thoughts to things is all about. Something appears. It just appeared. It just occurred. It just inspired. It just was. It just became. Esther has a dear friend who's been doing her hair when she's in California for many, many years. And for years, her friend would say, Esther, why don't you go get me a boyfriend? Why don't you bring me a boyfriend? Why don't you bring me a boyfriend? Why don't you bring me a boyfriend? Why don't you go find me a boyfriend? Why don't you find me a boyfriend? And Esther would bring her a book and bring her another book and bring her another book. Why don't you bring me a boyfriend? Stop bringing me these stupid books. Bring me a boyfriend. Bring me a boyfriend. Bring me a boyfriend. And then one day, Esther showed up at her shop after not having been there for a few months, and she said, I have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend, and he's wonderful. And Esther tells her every time she sees her, you know, the most wonderful thought that I have, something that I focus on all the time, just because it feels so good to focus upon it, is one day your boyfriend was not there. You could not see him. And the next day he was there. Well, how'd that happen? How did he turn from not being there to being there? What happened? It's not chance and it isn't luck. It isn't anything other than the evolution of your vibration and your ability to receive the inspiration to be there. Can you feel this? You can be or do or have anything. There's nothing off limits for you. And you are launching these rockets. Your vortex is so full, it would take you 20 or 30 lifetimes to even begin to scratch the surface of what you've put there. So as you begin loving just because you want to love and enjoying just because you want to enjoy, as you begin taking pleasure for the sake of pleasure, as you stop trying to defend yourself, that's the thing that most of you are doing more than all other things put together that are preventing you from being in the receptive mode and receiving the train of thought that leads you to what you're wanting. The thing that is hindering you more than all other things put together is that you are standing in your now, so aware of what currently is and trying to explain to yourself and who knows who why you're standing here instead of over here. And now you're going to catch yourself doing that. No one in our family had very much money, you explain. Or the market's just down, or the housing market is down, or my employer doesn't really appreciate me. You're explaining why you are where you are, and in doing so, you are disallowing yourself of being in the receptive mode that could take you someplace else today.